Hello Grade 6, welcome to the STEM Lockdown Digital School and welcome to our Grade 6 English First Additional Language lesson. Today is a reading lesson. My name is Teacher Fiona and I am your Grade 6 First Additional Language teacher. Hello. Let me tell you what you'll be doing today in this lesson. We'll work from Term 2, Week 5 and 6 of the CAPS curriculum for reading and viewing. You'll review the elements of a story, the 5 elements of a story. You'll have a quick discussion about seeds and plants. You'll make a prediction about today's story. You'll read a story aloud with me and practice your reading. You'll review some of the vocabulary in the story. You'll answer questions about the story. You'll sequence events in the story. And you'll review whether the 5 elements of a story were evident in today's story. You'll work out cause and effect in the plot. And finally, you'll ask your own questions about the story. Can you remember the different parts of a story? Let's review them by watching the following video. Let's have a quick discussion about seeds. This week our topic is plants and seeds. What do you know about plants and seeds? Can you answer these questions? Of course, I'm not going to be able to hear you, but let's practice your listening and speaking and give answers. Why are seeds important? Can you tell me why you think seeds are important? Just look outside at all the plants. They all come from seeds. Number 2, how does a seed grow? What do you know about seeds growing? Number 3, what are the different stages of a seed growing? Are there stages? What stages can you think of? And number 4, have you ever planted a seed and watched it grow? Where and when and what happened? These questions are all just to get you thinking about seeds and plants as we prepare for our story. Let's get on with today's story. What is our story about? Do you think you could make a prediction about it? It's called Where Will We Find Seeds? Here are 3 pictures from the story. Look at the first picture. What is happening in that picture? The villagers are sitting under a tree and they don't look happy. Nobody's smiling. Look at the second picture. What's going on in the field? What are they talking about? Is there a problem? Look at the third picture. That looks like a bountiful crop. Is it cotton? What is your prediction? Could you write a sentence or 2 about your prediction? Now, did you finish? Great. As we read the story, I'd like you to read aloud with me. I'd like you to read aloud using appropriate pronunciation, fluency, and expression. Where will we find seeds? This story takes place in India. The people in one of the villages are worried. They sit under the tree and on logs around the village. Nobody smiles. BJ is worried. These cotton farmers are worried because the harvest last year was very poor. Now it's summer, time to sow the cotton seeds. But in their village, it's difficult to get enough local and organic seeds. Nabita and Kataki are part of a group of women farmers. They hold meetings. They meet the village head. They talk to farmers' groups. The seeds in the market cost too much, said Nabita. Those seeds need pesticides and chemicals to grow, said Kataki. We want seeds that grow happily here, seeds that are best for our home, soil and weather, says BJ. After many days of talking, everyone looks happy. We know what to do, says Nabita. No problem is too big. We will start a bank. How will a bank help us? Asks BJ. Not a bank of money, a bank of seeds, says Kataki. The cotton farmers come together to start a seed bank. They deposit the few seeds they have at home in the seed bank. A seed bank works just like a money bank. People go to a money bank to save their money. At the seed bank, farmers save seeds. They also borrow seeds from the seed bank. Do they only save cotton seeds? No. Old seeds, local seeds, organic seeds, cotton seeds, pumpkin seeds, millet seeds, all kinds of seeds are saved in the seed bank. Sumati borrows 1 kilo of cotton seeds from the bank. Nabita carefully notes it down in a register. Kripa deposits 1 kilo of pumpkin seeds into the bank. Kataki carefully stores the seeds in a pot. The seeds are sown and watered. They start to push their way out of the ground and form plants. Soon it is harvest time. Just look at those cotton plants. The farmers get a good crop of cotton this year. They celebrate with their friends. Sumati pays back the bank with cotton seeds from the harvest. She repays her seed loan with interest by depositing 1.5 kilos of cotton seeds into the bank. Kataki carefully notes this down in the register. Nabita carefully stores the seeds in the pot. The seed bank now has lots and lots of seeds. There are seeds for the next year, the year after that, and the year after that too. The cotton farmers no longer have a big problem because their seed bank is very big. The seeds are everywhere, in the bank and in the field. A seed bank is such a good idea. This story was inspired by Ma Lankeshwari Seed Bank that exists in Bimdanga village in Odisha in India. A group called Chetna Organic helped farmers start a seed bank to save their cotton and other seeds. Did you notice the 5 elements of a story in today's story? Were there characters? Yes, some of the characters were named, especially the women farmers and one of the men farmers. Was there a setting? There were a few settings, actually. The seed bank, the fields and the village, but I would say the main setting is in the fields where they were planting the crops. What do you think? Was there a conflict that had to be sorted out? Yes, they didn't have enough seeds and they were very worried. Was there a plot? Yes, the plot showed step by step what they did to solve the problem. So yes, today's story definitely followed the 5 elements of a story. Did you notice that some of the words in the reading text were written in red? Let's find out what those words mean. Harvest. This is the period when crops are gathered in. Sow. This is to plant seeds by scattering them on or in the earth. Organic. This is a method of farming which involves producing crops without the use of chemical fertilizers, pesticides, or other artificial chemicals. Pesticide, a substance used for destroying insects or organisms harmful to cultivated plants. To repay means to pay back what one has borrowed from someone else or from a bank. A seed bank, a place that lends seeds and stores seeds, works in the same way as a financial bank. How well did you understand the story? Fill in the following blank spaces with your own choice of words. You only need to write down the words. I'll call out the sentences and then you write down the words, then we'll check your answers. Number 1. The villagers had a big problem because they needed Write down the missing word. Got it? Here's the answer. The villagers had a big problem because they needed seeds. Did you get that? Great. Number 2. This is because the harvest the previous year was very What is the missing word there? I'll give you time to think. Are you finished? Here's a suggested answer. This is because the harvest the previous year was very poor. Number 3. They didn't want to buy seeds in the village because those needed and What do you think? What 2 things did the village seeds need that they didn't want to get them because of that reason? Okay, these are 2 big words. They didn't want to buy seeds in the village because those needed pesticides and chemicals. Did you get those 2 big words? Great. Number 4, the farmers decided to start a something. What do you think? Write down your answer. The farmers decided to start a seed bank. Great. Now let's use a couple of bank words in the next 2 questions. Right, number 5. When farmers put seeds in a seed bank, they are making a What do we call it when they put seeds in a seed bank? It's like going to a bank. When you put money in a bank, you're making a Have you got the word? Now, when farmers put seed in a seed bank, they are making a deposit. Did you get that? Good. Here's another bank word. When farmers want some of the seeds from a seed bank, they the seeds. What do? It's if we want money from the bank and we something money. Got it? When farmers want some of the seeds in a seed bank, they borrow the seeds. Number 7. As a result, the farmers in the story had a good something of cotton that year. What is the word that we use? I'll give you some time. Have you got it? As a result, the farmers in the story had a good crop of cotton that year. Number 8. The farmers were able to deposit kinds of seeds in the seed bank. What word would you put into that sentence? I'll give you a minute. Answer: the farmers were able to deposit all kinds of seeds in the seed bank. How did you do? Good job. In this activity, I'd like you to put these events from the plot into the correct order. Let's read them together first. A. When farmers put seeds in a seed bank, they are making a deposit. You'll notice that all the sentences have got a letter at the front. And when you are putting them into order, you don't need to write out the whole sentence, just put the letters at the front of each sentence in sequence. Number B. This is because the harvest the previous year had been very poor. Number C. The farmers were able to deposit all kinds of seeds in the seed bank. Number D. As a result, the farmers in the story had a good crop of cotton that year. Number E. The farmers decided to start a seed bank. And number F. The villagers had a big problem because they needed seeds. So could you put those into the correct sequence? I'll give you some time to do this. You finished? Great. Here are some suggested answers. Check your work against these. The first one was the villagers, number F. The villagers had a big problem because they needed seeds. Did you get that one as the first one? Introducing the story. Good. Number B is second. This is because the harvest the previous year had been very poor. Did you get that? Good. Number E. The farmers decided to start a seed bank. Did you put that one there? Good. Now number A. When farmers put seeds in a seed bank, they are making a deposit. That one could go there. It could go later as well. Next, number D. As a result, the farmers in the story had a very good crop of cotton that year. Did you put that one there, number D? And finally, the farmers were able to deposit all kinds of seeds in the seed bank. Number C. Number C and number A could be swapped around. So if you've got A at the bottom and C in A's place, it's also correct. How did you do? Did you get all those correct? Awesome. Let's talk about cause and effect. When we're talking about actions and the reasons for actions, we call it cause and effect. So there's usually a reason for an action. We call this the cause. The resulting action is called the effect. Cause and effect is when something happens that makes something else happen. For example, the farmers were worried because there were no seeds to plant. So the effect is that they were worried. If you look for the effect first, you can usually find the cause. Why were they worried? Because there were no seeds to plant. Let's do an activity on cause and effect. Here's the first sentence. The farmers who lived in the village were worried because they didn't have any money to buy seeds. Can you think what the action is, the effect, and then decide what caused that action? I'll give you a couple of minutes. Right, let's have a look. What would you say was the effect, the action? They were worried. They were worried. Why were they worried? Because they didn't have any money to buy seeds. So the cause is they had no money, and the effect or the action that resulted was they were worried. Let's try a second one. The farmers decided to start a seed bank as they didn't want to buy expensive seeds at the market. What is the cause and the effect? So look for the action first. What is the action, the effect, and then what caused that action? I'll give you a couple of minutes. All right, you ready? So the effect or the action was that they started a seed bank, or they decided to start a seed bank. What was the cause of that action? They didn't want to buy expensive seeds. Did you get both of those? Well done. Well done. Let's practice making up questions about the story. When you make up a question, you have to be sure that the answer is obvious in the story, right? Let's practice making up questions about the story. When you want to make up questions, think about the question words, the 5 was and a ha. Who, what, when, where, why, and how. Could you try and make up 3 sentences about the story? I'll give you some time. Choose one of the question words, make up 3 sentences about the story. Are you done? Good. Let's look at some examples of questions you could have maybe answered. Who were the farmers in the story? That's a good question because they did mention who the farmers were. What did the farmers decide to do in order to get seed? Good question because the answer, you can find the answer in the story. Where did they find the seed for the seed bank? That's a good question, because the story does tell you about that. And how did the seed bank help the farmers excuse me, that year? That's also a good question. Well done. For homework, would you like me to hear you practicing your reading? I would love that. After this lesson, ask your parents for permission for you to use Flipgrid so that we can hear you read. Flipgrid is a Microsoft program. All you have to do is go to www.flipgrid.com, scroll down to enter a flip code and add the code below, FAE 94999. It will open up in Flipgrid, and all you have to do then is press the cross and start reading. And I will be on the other side here, and I will be able to listen to you. That will be awesome. Here is the Flipgrid code again. Write it down. FAE 94999. Got that? Great. This is what you did today in our lesson. You worked from Term 2, Weeks 5 and 6 of the CAPS curriculum for reading and reviewing. You reviewed the elements of a story. You had a quick discussion about seeds. You made a prediction about today's story. You read a story aloud with me. You reviewed some of the vocabulary in the story. You answered questions about the story. You sequenced events in the plot. You reviewed whether the 5 elements of a story were evident in today's story. You worked out cause and effect in the plot. And you asked your own questions about the story. Thank you for working so hard today. I would like to invite you to the next Grade 6 First Additional Language English lesson. It is a language lesson for Term 2, Week 5 and 6. The lesson takes our 2 stories from this week and uses them to teach you some important points about language and grammar. I hope to see you there. Here are some helpful links for you to try out this week. You could practice your reading and read into Flipgrid as we showed you just now. You could also view the video again called Parts of a Story by Jack Hartman, the song. Today's story is adapted from a story on the Storyweaver website called The Seed Savers. You could read that on the website if you wanted to. You could also watch the cute video we showed you called Plant a Tree with Ellie, Let It Grow. That brings our lesson for today to an end. Thank you very much for joining us. See you tomorrow. Bye.